Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Killing desire suddenly surged within the eyes of Lei Ying, Hua Jin and the rest after Xiao Yang's words sounded. The energy around them began to fluctuate intensely. Set up the formation. A couple of stern cries resounded throughout the sky at almost the same time. Those from the Jiyu clan, Yang clan, Lei clan and even the Han clan began to activate their formations with lightning-like speed. Terrifying Do Chi pillars charged to the clouds from all directions. The mighty aura caused the hearts of those observers outside of the mountain range to tremble. They repeatedly rejoiced that they had not charged in. Otherwise, they would likely perish in the face of such a violent big battle. It seems that all of you are indeed unwilling to give up. The smile on Han Tiandi's face was slowly withdrawn as he stood in the sky. He once again transformed into that seemingly cheerful, indifferent manner. He lowered his head to look at Xiaoyang's group. It seemed that he was unsurprised at their sudden attack. He also understood that Yuan, Xiaoyang and the others would definitely not simply sit back and watch their Han clan obtain all 8 pieces of jade and successfully open the ancient god mansion. Han Tiandi, hand over the ancient jade. Otherwise, we will definitely join hands and flatten your Han clan. Lei Ying's eyes were furious as he cried out. Han Tiandi involuntarily laughed upon hearing this. He flipped his hand and kept the ancient jade in his hand into his storage ring before he smiling said, "Oh. I am really curious about how you end up in this situation, if you possess this ability. Han Tiandi, we will not allow to easily open the ancient god mansion." Jiyu Yuan's face was as deep as water. His body slowly rose into the air as a terrifying fluctuation slowly spread from within his body. Dark clouds quickly gathered in the sky as thunder roared. Xiao Yang, Ling Ying, Yang Jin and the experts, who were stronger than 5-star Doshings from the 3 clans as well as the Sky Mansion Alliance, rose into the sky. Their auras surged and the color of the sky changed. In terms of the number of top-level experts, the 3 clans and the Sky Mansion Alliance combined would not be inferior to the Han clan. It was not possible to tell just who would emerge victorious if they were to fight. Jiyu Yuan, I have said before that with the destruction of the Xiao clan, there is no longer anyone who can stop my Han clan. Han Tiandi laughed. Jiyu Yuan frowned. He was just about to speak when the hot-tempered Lei Ying cried out in a deep voice, "Why are you saying so much nonsense to him? All members of the Lei clan, listen up. Use the 9 dragon sky lightning formation." Understood. The many experts from the Lei clan replied with cold and stern faces after hearing Lei Ying's cry. Immediately, many bright silver light rays rose from within their bodies and swiftly gathered into a mighty thundercloud in the sky. Silver light flashed. Finally, it turned into a 10,000 feet large lightning dragon. The rolling thunder caused the land to tremble. Go! The moment the lightning dragon appeared, it ruthlessly collided into the large army of the Han clan in the sky under the control of the many experts from the Lei clan. Yang clan, Great Burning Sky Technique. Yang Jin let out a cold cry after the Lei clan attacked. Monstrous flames immediately surged. It was as though it intended to incinerate this entire place. Finally, the flame turned into a rolling sea of fire that swept towards the Han clan. Ancient God Mirror. The Jiyu clan had also once again formed the ancient mirror that covered the entire place. Rays of light flowed on it. Soon after, an incomparably large light pillar shot out. Swoosh swoosh. All attacks erupted at this moment. The energy fluctuation easily destroyed the surrounding towering mountains, leaving nothing behind. Han Tiendi watched the ferocious attacks rushing over from below with indifferent eyes as he stood in the sky. The sound of clattering chains was emitted from the black clouds that covered the area behind him. After which, many clashing sound appeared. Countless number of black chains shot out from within the black cloud and swiftly formed a dragnet in the sky. Black clouds churned over the chains. Suddenly, many ferocious faces appeared on the black net and continuously emitted some sharp miserable screech. Bang bang bang. The many attacks suddenly arrived as the black net was formed. Immediately, the whole place trembled intensely under the terrifying collision. The land cracked, forming many huge gully-like crack lines. The black net collapsed after the frightening storm in the sky had gradually scattered. However, it managed to block all of the attacks from below before it collapsed. The frightening strength of the Han clan was once again revealed. Han Tiendi, this time around let the both of us decide on a victor. Xiaoyang foot stepped on the empty space. His body suddenly shot into the clouds, while a stern cry spread over the area within tens of thousands of kilometers in a vast and mighty manner. Han Tiendi smiled faintly. His body moved and directly appeared in front of Xiaoyang. He understood that the both of them were the strongest representative from both factions. Both of them must restrain each other. Otherwise, the formation of both parties would collapse. Charge! Lei Ying and Yang Jin cried out loud after seeing Xiaoyang intervene to restrain Han Tiendi. The experts of the three clans and the Sky Mansion Alliance rushed out from behind. Many experts from the Han clan flew out from the black cloud in a swoosh sound. Immediately, a big fight erupted in the sky. Lei Ying and Yang Jin had a clear target. They directly locked onto the nihility devouring flame. Other than Han Tiendi, the strongest in the Han clan was the nihility devouring flame. On the other hand, only the both of them from the Alliance's side combined could stop him. Do you really think that the both of you are a match for me just because you have gotten some benefits the last time? The nihility devouring flame laughed coldly after seeing Lei Ying duo charging towards him. He waved his large sleeve. Black flame rose in a monstrous fashion and directly charged towards Lei Ying duo. Immediately, a frightening devouring power spread. With an increasing number of experts exchanging blows, the entire mountain range began to tremble intensely. That scene caused the expressions of those people in the distance to experience a great change in expression. Bang! Xiaoyang was expressionless, as he threw a palm, and shattered the spiritual body of an elite dozun of the expert from the Han clan into dust. His body immediately flashed, and he appeared in front of another expert. Each time he struck, there would be an expert from the Han clan being defeated. Even some expert, Do Xing, was seriously injured and forced back in Xiaoyang's hands after a couple of exchanges. Xiaoyang did not attack those experts from the Han clan, who he could not finish off quickly. Currently, he wished to kill the most number of experts from the Han clan with the fastest speed. Currently, he wished to use the fastest speed to kill the most number of people from the Han clan. With his efficiency, the number of Han clan experts, who had been killed in Xiaoyang's hands within a short few minutes, had reached the double digits. The benefits brought about by the DI state soul had also been revealed in this fight. Rich murderous aura covered Xiaoyang's body. Bang! Xiaoyang extended his hand into the blood fog, after beating an elite 3-star Do Xing into a cluster of blood. He clenched his hand and the remaining soul fragment was vaporized into nothing. Kai! A ripple suddenly appeared behind Xiaoyang just as he had just killed this elite Do Xing from the Han clan. A dense black flame surged. It turned into a black spear that ruthlessly struck towards the back of Xiaoyang's head. However, that black spear was still a couple of centimeters from Xiaoyang's head when it was sent flying with a clang sound. That scene appeared as though there was an invisible barrier around Xiaoyang. Han Miexing, you are indeed still alive. Xiaoyang turned his head. His eyes looked towards the human figure that was completely wrapped in a black flame. Although Xiaoyang was unable to clearly assess his appearance, the feeling from his DI state soul had allowed him to recognize the latter almost immediately. This person was the chief of the Hall of Soul, Han Miexing, who had fled with a trace of his soul after being killed by Xiaoyang back then. Xiaoyang, I will not die so easily. Sir Nihility had helped me create a body with his essence flame. My current self cannot be compared to back then. The black flame churned as a pair of scarlet eyes, which was full of hatred, stared at Xiaoyang. His dark and cold voice was accompanied with viciousness as he it emitted. An arc was formed over Xiaoyang's icy cold face after he heard this. Hand over your life to me. Han Miexing's hand trembled. The dense black flame directly turned into 1,000 feet large black flame chain that trickily shot towards Xiao like a vicious snake. Shatter. Xiaoyang did not show any signs of attacking in the face of Han Miexing's assault. He merely uttered a single word. Crack. Invisible spiritual fluctuation swept out after Xiaoyang's voice sounded. The black flame chain collapsed almost instantly. Even the black flame on it had become incomparably dim. The attack from a DI state soul was something that even an 8-star Doxing would not dare to underestimate. Although the Nihility devouring flame had spent a great effort to reconstruct his body, his strength was at the very most at the 7-star Doxing or so. There was far too much of a gap with the current Xiaoyang. All it took was a brief exchange for Han Miexing to be defeated so quickly. The latter's expression was slightly altered. Although he was aware that Xiaoyang had stepped into the DI state soul, he could not believe that he would be so pathetic in the other party's hands. Withdraw. Although a vicious thought was churning in his heart, Han Miexing had also understood that his current self was no longer a match for Xiaoyang. He immediately clenched his teeth and quickly pulled back. You will not get to escape this time around. Xiaoyang's eyes looked at Han Miexing in a cold and indifferent manner. He took a stride forward and the space fluctuated. He had actually appeared behind the latter in a ghost-like fashion. He pressed his finger forward and directly penetrated through the black flame around Han Miexing. The frightening strength of the DI state soul erupted without being held back. Bang! Han Miexing's body suddenly stiffened amidst the low and deep muffled sound. The black flame around him disappeared immediately, revealing a shriveled figure inside. There was no injury on his head, but those eyes of Han Miexing were hollow. His soul had completely vanished from being struck by Xiaoyang's finger earlier. Is this the spiritual pressure of the DI soul state? Xiaoyang muttered to himself as he looked at his finger. He did not use any Do Qi for the purifying demonic lotus flame to kill Han Miexing. All he did was to rely on his spiritual strength to kill the latter with lightning-like speed. Such a frightening strength was indeed worthy of the word Di. Xiaoyang did not pay much attention on Han Miexing after killing him in a quick and simple manner. With Han Miexing's strength, he did not possess much of a threat towards Xiaoyang. After his spiritual strength had stepped into the Di state, Xiaoyang was already able to completely overlook Han Miexing. Xiaoyang flicked his finger gently. He glanced at the corpse with hollow eyes in front of him in an indifferent manner. With a wave of his hand, he directly shattered the corpse. After which, he frowned and looked at the chaotic battleground in the sky. This was the first time Xiaoyang had seen a war on such scale. The terrifying strength that the Han clan had displayed had once again caused Xiaoyang's face to become grave. The alliance force present was a combination of the Jiyu clan, Lei clan, Yang clan and the Sky Mansion alliance. The number of experts present had reached a relatively spectacular level. Despite this, they still appeared to be in a stalemate. Xiaoyang's eyes swept over the battleground. After which, he lifted his head and looked at the black fog, which permeated the sky. There was a continuous stream of experts rushing out from within the black cloud. With Xiaoyang's current strength, it was difficult for anyone below the 7-star Dosheng class to catch his attention. However, Xiaoyang vaguely felt as though the black fog still hid many auras that even he was extremely afraid of for some unknown reason. This was a faint, weak feeling. If it was not because Xiaoyang's soul had reached the DI state, it was impossible for him to detect it in such detailed manner. However, this feeling caused Xiaoyang's expression to become increasingly grave. The strength of the Han clan did appear to be unusually terrifying. The battle today might well be a bitter fight if this continues. Xiaoyang's eyes flashed. Suddenly, they were rotated. He looked at the north of the battleground. Black fog churned and a couple of mighty auras surged. Clearly, there were many experts from the Han clan seated there. Even the 3 clans and the Sky Mansion Alliance had suffered many deaths in this place. Han Fong. A cold glint flashed in Xiaoyang's eyes as he looked at the somewhat young figure within a group. It was rumored that this person was the most outstanding person amongst the younger generation of the Han clan. It was likely that he would be able to threaten the Han clan if he could capture this person. Kai. This thought flashed across Xiaoyang's mind. He smiled coldly and moved. His body turned into a black light that hurried towards a black fog region. Bang! Han Fong had a cold expression as he grabbed the head of an expert from the Yang clan. He looked at the latter's horrified expression. A scarlet and ferocious expression flashed across his eyes. Fresh blood erupted with the latter's brains. After which Han Fong merely tossed that person aside. You are useless. Han Fong rubbed his hands and spoke indifferently. There were 4 Han clan elders, who had reached the 4-star Dosheng class, guarding behind him. Through this, one could see that the Han clan greatly valued his safety. Young Master Han Fong, let's withdraw a little. There are far too many experts from the 3 clans nearby. A grey-haired old man glanced around him before suddenly speaking. This place could be considered to be a little deep. Although the true experts from the 3 clans had basically been held back, it was always right to be a little careful. Let's go. Han Fong, who had a good time being on a killing spree, frowned but did not object. He nodded and was about to pull back. Ha ha, young Master Han Fong, you actually dare to simply leave after killing someone. Aren't you being a little too free and easy? However, a faint laughter suddenly sounded as Han Fong was turning around. He lifted his head in a startled manner, and saw a black-clothed young man appearing above his head at some unknown moment. The latter was smilingly looking at him. Xiaoyang. You have actually escaped from being chased by Han Miesheng. Han Fong laughed coldly. His expression had changed slightly after seeing the black-clothed young man. Chased? Xiaoyang was startled. He immediately came to a sudden comprehension. It seemed that the speed in which killed Han Mietian earlier was far too quick. Hence, it did not manage to attract much attention. Young Master Han Fong, hurry up and leave. Xiaoyang's spiritual state has reached the DI state. His strength has far surpassed what appears on the surface. Han Miesheng is likely already killed by him. A white-haired old man from amongst the 4 elders guarding Han Fong had an extremely sharp pair of eyes. His heart sunk after seeing Xiaoyang's expression. He subsequently cried out in a low voice. Han Feng's face twitched involuntarily after hearing these words. His eyes were filled with dissatisfaction as they looked at Xiaoyang. Back at the demonic flame realm, Han Fong completely need not fear Xiaoyang. However, after only a few years, the pressure that the latter gave him was actually not any weaker than the grand elders within the clan. Move. Although he was dissatisfied, Han Fong clearly understood that if he was to fight with Xiaoyang with his current strength, he would not likely end up dead. Hence, he did not dare to bite off more than he could chew. His body moved and he hurried towards the distant black clouds in the sky. The four elders behind stared cautiously at Xiaoyang as they withdrew. Xiaoyang merely smiled after seeing five of them leaving. He clenched his hand. 4 clusters of brilliant fire glow erupted from his hand. They quickly agglomerated into 4 head-sized fire lotuses that shot towards the 4 elders with lightning-like speed. Charge! A chill rose on the faces of the 4 elders after they saw Xiaoyang persistently pursuing them. Their sleeves shook and python-like chains rushed out. The fire lotuses had arrived the moment the chain was shot out. After which, they adhered onto the chains. The 4 elders could not escape no matter how they struggled. Bang! The fire lotuses suddenly exploded while the 4 elders were preparing to toss the chains aside. 4 brilliant lines of flames flew along the chains. In an instant, the flames struck on the hands of the 4 elders and subsequently invaded their bodies. Boom! After the line of fire invaded their bodies, the clothes of the 4 elders were directly turned into dust. Soon after, pink fire seedling escaped from their paws. The sizzling sound was extremely deafening. Ah! Sharp and miserable screech continued to be emitted from the mouths of the 4 members of the Han clan, while they were crazily unleashing their Do Chi to extinguish the flame within their bodies. Xiaoyang's expression was indifferent as his eyes swept over the 4 of them. He flicked his finger gently. 4 wisps of wind shot out. The 4 elders of the Han clan spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Their bodies were like the broken wings of birds as they swiftly landed onto the ground. After which, they were surrounded by the experts from the 3 clans below. Han Fong's expression had finally become ugly after he saw that the 4 elders, who had reached the 4-star Doshing class, were actually so worthless in Xiaoyang's hands. He quickly unleashed his maximum speed and hurriedly fled. I have said that you will not be able to escape. Han Fong's body had just moved when a voice that was filled with an endless chill was suddenly transmitted from behind him. The former shrunk his eyes. He flipped his hand and a black flame churned. An incomparably fierce palm strike suddenly erupted. Bang! The ferocious palm wind from Han Fong was just unleashed when it seemed to have met with an invisible barrier. A loud sound appeared and the former's hand felt a bone-piercing pain. His strength was reflected back and directly caused a mouthful of fresh blood to surge through his throat. However, it was finally forcefully swallowed by Han Fong. Han Fong swallowed a mouthful of fresh blood. His heart trembled from shock. The 2 of them were completely at 2 different levels. Han Fong was just about to use his secret technique to increase his speed as this thought flashed across his mind when a somewhat icy cold hand gently appeared on his neck. The iciness caused his body to stiffen. Ancestor, save me! A sharp scream was emitted from Han Feng's mouth as his body stiffened. Ancestor! Xiaoyang's eyes narrowed after hearing Han Feng's voice. His eyes swiftly swept over the battleground in the sky. Currently, Han Qiandi, the nihility devouring flame and the 4 demon saints had been held back. Just who is this ancestor of Han Fong? Bang! The black cloud in the sky suddenly churned intensely while this doubt flashed across Xiaoyang's heart. After which, the black cloud surged and an elderly figure, who appeared to be about to die, slowly descended. At the same time, a vast and mighty terrifying aura, which did not lose to the black submerged king of the Jiyu clan, Jiyu Lai, suddenly swept apart. 8-star Doshing. Xiaoyang's eyes shrunk slightly, as he sensed this incomparably powerful aura. The Han clan was actually hiding such an expert. "Young friend, why don't you let this useless descendant of Mayav?" The elderly figure slowly stepped forward. He appeared in front of Xiaoyang with just a step. The winkle-covered elderly face was covered with smiles and his tone was extremely friendly. "Who are you?" Xiaoyang smiled coldly and asked. I am Han Yuantian, ha ha, a useless old man who had died in Xiao Xian's hands back then." The old man laughed. Xiaoyang could sense the former's smile had become a lot darker when mentioning the words Xiao Xian. "You do not appear like a dead person." Xiaoyang frowned slightly. This old fellow's appearance was far too mysterious. He must be cautious. However, he wondered just how many of these experts, who had never appeared in the past, did the Han clan had. If a couple more of them appeared, it was likely that even this alliance army today would not be able to do anything to the Han clan. Even Xiaoyang felt some unease in his heart as he thought of this. This Han clan was indeed far too unfathomable. Han Yuantian laughed. However, he did not reply this question. He smilingly said, "Why don't you hand him over to me? This alliance of yours is really insufficient if you wish to retain our Han clan." "Is that so?" Xiaoyang's eyes became slightly cold. He suddenly increased the strength of his arm, which was holding on to Han Fong. This caused the latter's face to turn purple as he continued to struggle. Han Yuantian sighed helplessly upon seeing this scene. He did not show any signs of being threatened. Faint black aura seeped out from within his body. Immediately, his shriveled hand quickly emitted a rotten stench. Finally, he moved and gently slammed towards Xiaoyang. It was possible for Xiaoyang to detect a somewhat mysterious dead aura from that shriveled bone-like hand. "Since you refuse to listen to nice words, you can just go and die. It is not up to you to decide who should live and who should die." Xiaoyang involuntarily laughed coldly after seeing Han Yuantian rushing over in a flash. His hand, which was grabbing onto Han Fong, increased its strength. The latter was also struggling crazily. "Xiaoyang, ancestor will not let you off." Han Feng's expression was purple. He viciously stared at Xiaoyang. Suddenly, his body began to swell intensely. The dou qi within his body also became wild and violent. Self-destruct her. Xiaoyang's expression did not change after he saw this scene. He suddenly increased the strength of his arm. A crack sound appeared and he directly broke Han Feng's neck. Although Han Feng's neck was broken, his body continued to swell rapidly. Finally, it emitted a bang. An earth-shaking energy storm exploded along with a bloody fog. The blood fog slowly scattered before disappearing. However, Xiaoyang's body continued to float in the sky. His vast and mighty spiritual strength had formed an invisible barrier around him. The attack that Han Fong had created from self-destructing did not cause him any harm. Kai. Xiaoyang's eyes swept over the place in an indifferent manner. He quickly took a step back as the space in front of him fluctuated. An elderly figure appeared in a flash. A palm wind containing a rich deathly aura adhered over Xiaoyang's chest as it flew past. Han Yuantian's body appeared in a flash after his palm mist. He glanced at the spot where Han Fong had self-destruct. His winkle-covered face contained some gloominess. Immediately, he flipped his hand and a soul rushed out from within the black fog. Finally, it entered his sleeve. "Rat, I will definitely make you suffer." Han Qian stared densely at Xiaoyang after retrieving the trace of Han Feng's soul. The smile on his face had finally completely disappeared. He did not expect that Xiaoyang would be this vicious. The latter did not give him any opportunity to rescue Han Fong. Instead, Xiaoyang had simply launched a killing strike. If it was not because Han Fong had decisively chose to self-destruct and allow a part of his soul to escape, it was likely that he would have been completely destroyed by Xiaoyang. Even though this was the case, this would cause Han Fong great harm. An old fellow who won't die is like a parasite. Allow me to be the one to send you off. Xiaoyang laughed coldly. He appeared completely unafraid. Although his Do Chi was merely at the 6-star intermediate level, he had the qualification to fight against an 8-star Do Xing by simply relying on his Di state spiritual strength. Although Han Yuantian was powerful, he was not as strong as Lei Ying and Yang Jin. According to Xiaoyang's guess, this old fellow has likely only reached the initial 8-star Do Xing class. Xiaoyang would not be afraid of him in a real fight. The members of the Xiao clan always has such razor-sharp tongue. I will allow you to enjoy what is called a fate worse than death once you land in my hands. Han Yuantian's expression was densely cold. He parted his mouth, revealed his yellow teeth, and spoke sinisterly. Han Yuantian's finger moved without leaving a trace as he spoke. Traces of invisible fluctuation suddenly surged from behind Xiaoyang. Finally, they entwined into an invisible net that suddenly covered Xiaoyang. At the same time, Han Yuantian also shot forward and appeared in front of Xiaoyang in the blink of an eye. His stench-filled palm directly smashed onto Xiaoyang's chest. Bang! Han Yuantian's palm was half an inch from Xiaoyang's chest when it suddenly stilled. A layer of invisible barrier had appeared on his palm. Both parties had ruthlessly collided. The frightening force had directly caused the surrounding space collapsed and formed many crack lines. Displaying your spiritual strength in front of me. What a joke! Xiaoyang observed Han Yuantian. He laughed. A thought passed through his mind. Vast and mighty spiritual strength surged from him. In almost an instant, he had shattered the invisible spiritual net behind. Immediately, fierce pink flame seeped out from within his body, causing it to turn into a crystal-clear pink glass in the blink of an eye. Xiaoyang's aura had soared greatly after he used the extermination fire lotus. Soon after, a flame quickly gathered on his palm. A 6-colored fire lotus was formed. The current Xiaoyang needed to only think about it to use the extermination fire lotus. The terrifying strength of a Di state soul had raised the speed of its formation by many times. Buzz buzz. Waves after waves of exterminating heat wave swiftly spread after the fire lotus was formed. Soon after, Xiaoyang flicked his finger. A fire lotus was accompanied by a brilliant fire tail, as it directly shot towards Han Yuantian's head. Although Xiaoyang's actual strength was still at the 6-star Do Xing class, the might of the extermination fire lotus was many times stronger than before. This increase was brought about by his Di state soul. Deathly Silence Gate. Han Yuantian's expression was slightly solemn, as he sensed the destructive ripple being emitted from the brilliant fire lotus. Both of his hands had formed many strange seals. Immediately, a rich black fog surged out from within his palm. It turned into a huge black door, which had been filled with a mysterious aura. The door was opened and a black hole like darkness was revealed. No one knew just what kind of mysterious realm it led to. Swoosh! The extermination fire lotus flew across the sky. Finally, it exploded just outside of the Deathly Silence Gate. Immediately, a terrifying destructive storm swept apart. Humph! Absorb it. The storm was reflected within Han Yuantian's eyes. He laughed in a dark and cold manner. A terrifying suction force was suddenly emitted. At the end, the 10,000 feet large firestorm had actually been swallowed into the huge gate. Is this the Deathly Silence Gate? A surprise flashed across Xiaoyang's eyes after he saw this scene. It was not because Han Yuantian was able to easily deal with the extermination fire lotus. Instead, it was due to Han Yuantian possessing such a mysterious object. You actually dare to reveal such tricks in front of me. This deathly silence gate of mine was created from an elite Do Di from the ancient times. It is able to devour everything. Han Yuantian involuntarily laughed strangely after being aware of Xiaoyang's surprise. This deathly silence gate was extremely strange. This was because this was completely different from an ordinary Do skill. It was not even possible to classify it as a kind of Do skill. Instead, it was more appropriate to describe it as a kind of realm being created through one's training. Han Yuantian had been training for hundreds of years in order to successfully master this deathly silence gate and enable it to possess such a might. The space inside the door was filled with a deathly aura. Even a 7-star Do Xing would likely be eroded and killed by the deathly aura if he was sucked inside and could not escape. After his death, the essence blood of his would become nourishment for the deathly silence gate, allowing it to become even stronger. During the ancient times, many experts had fought to snatch this deathly silence gate. It was unexpected that Han Yuantian was actually able to create it. It is indeed a good thing. Xiaoyang licked his lips. Even he was a little familiar with this deathly silence gate. Your essence blood and soul will likely greatly increase the strength of my deathly silence gate. Han Yuantian's body flashed and appeared above the huge door. He sat down and his eyes stared at Xiaoyang in a sinister manner. Immediately, the seal formed by his hands changed. Black light suddenly surged from within the large gate. It turned into a black light ray that was dozens of feet in size and suddenly shot out. The speed of the light was extremely quick. It had enveloped around Xiaoyang after it was shot out. Rat, you should head to hell and accompany your ancestor Xiao Xian. Han Yuantian laughed in a dense voice. A terrifying suction force had suddenly erupted from within the deathly silence gate. The light shrunk and entered the huge gate in a flash. Xiaoyang, who was wrapped by the ray of light, had also disappeared. Han Yuantian's face became even denser after Xiaoyang was absorbed into the deathly silence gate. No one who had entered the deathly silence gate can come out alive. Once the deathly aura inside eroded all of Xiaoyang's Do Qi, the life and death of the latter would completely be determined by the former's mood. Humph, a group unruly crowd actually has the delusion of flattening our Han clan. Once we are fully prepared, everyone here can forget about escaping. Han Yuantian lifted his head after capturing Xiaoyang. His eyes glanced at this incomparably chaotic battleground. After which, they gathered onto the thick dark cloud in the sky and let out a low and deep laughter. The dark black space was filled with a deathly aura. Even Do Qi had become weak in the face such an aura. Xiaoyang's body appeared in a place covered by deathly aura. He looked at this dark black and mysterious place before a strange smile surfaced on his face. He muttered softly, Han Yuantian, I shall help keep this treasure for you. The purifying demonic lotus flame suddenly swept out from within Xiaoyang's body after his voice sounded. Even those deathly aura was unable to approach him under this great heat. Xiaoyang quickly shut his eyes. A vast and endless spiritual strength erupted from within his body. Within a short moment, it had wrapped around the dark black realm. After which, his body suddenly disappeared. He was already in a dark region the next time he appeared. The middle of this place was a black stone, which hid a great amount of deathly aura. There was a spiritual fluctuation on the black stone. It was the spiritual imprint Han Yuantian had left within this deathly silence gate. It was precisely because of this that the latter was able to use the deathly silence gate. However, if this thing was removed by another, he would also lose his control over the deathly silence gate. The cold smile on Xiaoyang's face became denser as he looked at the black stone. Capturing Xiaoyang, whose soul had reached the DI state, was the biggest mistake of Han Yuantian. Bang! Han Yuantian exploded a Doshing elder of the Jiyu realm with a palm strike. Black chi rose from his palm and a mini black gate appeared. Traces of bloody chi swiftly surged into the black gate. It is really a strength that causes others to be fascinated. Han Yuantian revealed a smile on his face as he sensed the increasingly dense deathly aura within the deathly silence gate. However, he was about to once again find a new target when his expression suddenly changed. This was because he discovered that his connection with the deathly silence gate had suddenly weakened. This is bad. This unexpected change caused Han Yuantian's heart to sink. He hurriedly attempted to enter the deathly silence gate, when he suddenly discovered that his connection with it had actually been completely broken. Swoosh! Han Yuantian's heart trembled after the connection was lost. That black gate actually directly flew out. It swelled with the wind. A light figure flashed and sat above the huge gate. The figure smilingly looked at Han Yuantian and laughed, "Thank you for your gift." Han Yuantian was dull for an instant after seeing this scene. His eyes quickly turned blood red. This video will end here.